Yeah, Slaughter on the Bridge, where Paul and Greg brought the three boys on the customs, and we're going across the bridge, and they ran into a PMC, and they made that PMC's day.
Pretty sure this is our first time on customs too.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah, so let's just transition over.
Yep.
Here we are. You know, the Kev's walking up to the back of the truck, and everybody's cautious. There's 5 guys in this crew here.
There's a part of this that's going to come up and you're going to see, and I don't know why you're aiming at, what is it, it's like Maddie's head. Like, watch. Like, just that scares me.
We'll get into the Whoa.
And there they all go. And it's over. And the look on Kevin's face, like, what happened?
Hey, she's a beauty.
I have 2 buddies with me tonight. We have Kevin and Paul. We're going to be talking about Kevin's transition from being a console gamer, controller guy, coming over to Tarkov and embracing everything that's Tarkov on a PC. And also I have Paul, who is my buddy, who I brought into Tarkov, and Sherpa'd him and our buddy Greg. And Paul's taking the reins with Verdi and Sherpering 3 other newbies, and Kev's one of them. Right?
Thanks for having us, Barry.
No problem.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, who figured out the name Sherpa, or is that just like
That
a
no,
Tarkov?
that's a Tarkov thing. They actually have a real program in place where a new player can go and basically fill out a form, describe what kind of player they are, and they'll get, if they're interested in being, you know, I guess, engaged in PvP or looking for loot, and they'll get the right Sherpa for them and match them up, and they'll walk them through the game.
I'm not an official Sherpa. That's probably why we die often.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do first, though, is just play a clip of the Slaughter on the Bridge, where Paul and Greg brought the 3 boys on the customs, and we're going across the bridge, and they ran into a PMC, and they made that PMC's day.
Pretty sure this is our first time on customs too.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah, so let's just transition over.
Yep.
Here we are. You know, the Kev's walking up to the back of the truck, and everybody's cautious. There's 5 guys in this crew here.
There's a part of this that's going to come up and you're going to see, and I don't know why you're aiming at, what is it, it's like Maddie's head. Like, watch. Like, just that scares me.
We'll get into the
Whoa. And there they all go. And it's over. And the look on Kevin's face, like, what happened? What the fuck? Really?
What
Level
also
3.
was, it was a coordinated attack too, because I ended up getting shot in the face from another guy who was part of the team. So you guys got mowed down, and then I got blasted.
From the same guy?
No, from a different guy, from his
different
buddy.
guy.
His buddy was probably doing Overwatch, as the other idiots up on the mounted machine gun looking at 4 guys line up in front of him.
I don't know what gun I was using there, so he couldn't have been too happy taking that off my body.
And, you know,
Nothing
that's
for low level.
The iron sights.
what happens when you take a bunch of kids into a map and daylight across a bridge. So with that, Kevin, tell us about you.
In terms of gaming?
In terms of gaming, you know, you stream on Twitch. You started streaming playing COD on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I probably took 4 or 5 years off from gaming altogether. You know, I was just playing Call of Duty, any random games on PS4. Then when COVID hit, I kind of needed to sink my teeth into something where, you know, the world's shutting down, we're stuck in the house. You know, I needed something other than binge watching Netflix and everything. So I dusted off the PS4 and re-downloaded Call of Duty. From there, at that point, Twitch was not even in my head. I probably didn't even know what Twitch was at that point. So from there, continued to play there. A couple buddies that I played with introduced me to some streamers on Twitch. Not introduced, but like, hey, go watch these guys. They're entertaining. And that got me kind of into the Twitch realm. And, you know, one guy that I tend to like just based on his pure entertainment alone was Bobby Poff. And Continued to watch his stream for a while, and you know, he was one of those guys where like, yeah, he's not the best player, but like it was one of those, you know, he just entertained me,
Yeah.
and that's what's cool about Twitch, where it's like there's like you got these really talented gamers that bring in a lot of followers, just on pure talent
Yeah.
alone, and then there's the entertainers that are good. No, I'm not saying he's not good at the game because he's really good, but in comparison, he doesn't compare, but he's just really good at entertaining.
Like he
And I
engages the chat. He's things he's
always
talking about is good.
always engages the chat, always, if somebody subscribes, even if it's just basic one subscriber or gifted 100 subs, like he's going to mention your name, and he's always consistently reading the chat and interacting, even if you're not subscribing or following or what have you. And I tend to like that.
Yeah.
So I just
Storytime streamers.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're actually having a conversation with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would support him.
Yeah.
And I supported him over the course of a couple years. Still support him.
Yeah.
And that transitioned to me becoming one of his moderators, and still am.
Ah, very cool. Now, what else? Now, okay, so that got you into Twitch. Now, when did you make that jump to actually start streaming onto Twitch?
Based on watching him, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what, man? Yeah, I was looking for more. It's not. I wouldn't phrase it as a challenge, but like, we were all stuck in the house, couldn't go out, do anything at that time. It's just like I got to do something here. So, I was streaming off my PS4.
Yeah.
There was no like literally streaming, like just connected Twitch to PS4. There was no picture, no nothing. And I would
Probably
just stream
catching a
on.
lot of flack from Danny Boy too.
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000%, and that Danny would, said you need to get a PC and start doing it from there. And I'm sure we'll be talking about
Yeah.
that in a bit. But I would start streaming off of PS4. Did that for a bit. Gained a following based on just I think moderating from Bobby. Some people from his stream would follow me, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get affiliated until I did get the PC and
Yeah.
throw my mug up there and
makes
kind
a
of
difference.
interact. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Now, what else were you
Uh,
streaming? Just COD or?
Just Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when I got the PC, I honestly bought the PC because of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I honestly did. I've always had like, it's gonna sound ridiculous. That was a major like reason why I purchased it, just because like that game fascinates me in terms of just the pure graphics alone and the detail.
Yeah.
And I've always liked, like, I've always had an interest in flying and not becoming a pilot, but like, maybe getting a pilot's license, small little planes here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't play it much because Tarkov's taken over my life. But that's the reason why I bought the PC. So once I got that, then one thing led to another. I'm downloaded Streamlabs OBS, and now strictly OBS, and here we are.
And now, what was it like? As if you're going on Twitch, you get that first interaction. Somebody pops up in your chat that you don't know, and it's like, wait, I don't know this person.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling. Because it's just like something in the back of your head's like, oh shit, now I gotta entertain, and like, am I doing this right? Am I doing something like, what do I gotta do? Like, I want this guy to keep coming back, or this girl. I want this, you know what I mean? In the back of my head, I'm like, am I doing enough? So I'm constantly interacting. I mean, I'm not getting many interactions in chat anyway right now, but like, once they do come in, I make it a point to try and, similar to what Bobby does, to consistently speak back and talk and interact, rather than, my gameplay is nowhere near entertaining enough,
And now
I would argue with that though, because we've talked about this, Barry, right? That I think our gameplay, the chaos, and just the comms that are going on is content gold. right? Like,
Yeah.
look, I get it, right? Like the solo players and they're better, but I don't know the interactions we have.
Yeah.
True, it is comedy, and I think I was talking with your brother earlier about it. It's like almost having like a 4-man stream, 4-man team dropping in, but have all 4 screens with all the point of views of the 4
And
different
we still
players,
don't
and
know
then
where each other are.
oh, no,
Daniel's
yeah.
probably still shooting us in the face, so it's.
Yeah.
I have one friendly. It's you. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I've got the evidence too.
Yeah.
It's true.
So now, when you now you got rated, right? And now was that when you all of a sudden
That
got
was wild.
people started doing subs to you, and what?
Yeah, subscribing. So this was random. This was completely random, and I'm blanking on the guy that rated me name right now, but
And it's a shame because he dropped a 50 sub on you, right?
it wasn't him. It was
Oh,
someone
okay.
from his chat. But regardless, um, he it was like 300 people all of a sudden, and it was random. I'm just playing like I think I was in the middle of a scav, or I might have been just like consolidating in my, selling some crap, and all of a sudden I got 300 people watching me, and I'm like, whoa, that was overwhelming. That was shocking. And a lot of them stayed for a while, which was interesting. I got quite a few followers from that, and obviously the 50 bomb, which was unbelievable. And that is something that was like okay, maybe I could do something like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, that's random. That's pure luck. That's a guy that has a significant following, doing a good thing, and finding some low level, guy that has 1 to 2, watchers at a time,
Yeah.
and just like pump him up a bit. But that's cool. That's cool about Twitch, right? There's a community behind it
Yeah.
where everyone tries to rally around each other, to get affiliated to
Yeah.
whatever that may be. And it's cool. I've met a lot of cool people. One of my moderators, I met through Call of Duty. He's my sole moderator right now, and like he helps me out so much. I call him Jay, but his real name's Ali.
Yeah.
He's one of the better players of Call of Duty that I've ever played with.
Yeah.
But I met him strictly. Actually, we met him randomly. We were randomly paired with him one day, and all of a sudden now he's a moderator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like weird how it comes full circle.
That's awesome. Now, for those that don't know, Sony dropping a sub, 50 subs, that's about what'd you say, $250 of
$250, yeah.
Yeah, that
Of
just
cash.
Yep, to buy subs, and that gets dropped into your channel, and subs 50 people. It's crazy.
Insane.
Yep,
Insane.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's something I'll always remember, and hopefully, as things progress. Like right now, it's a hobby. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I throw it up, I'll interact with whoever. But as things, as you see, like as we progress, I start tweaking things. We
Yeah.
got the logo now. We'll add maybe get a second PC for streaming,
There
get
you
some
go.
better lighting, but got a better camera. It's a hobby at
Yep.
that point.
Now, when you jumped to COD, or I'm sorry, when you jumped to the PC and started playing COD, were you playing with the mouse and keyboard then, or did you just start using? You're still using your controller?
Yep. Tarkov's the mouse and key. That's where it all started. Because you have to.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's no other choice.
There's not enough buttons.
No, actually,
controller buttons.
surprisingly, Geeks spent like a month trying to play Tarkov with a controller, and apparently it was just
Didn't work.
it was awful. It was
You
truly
need to have
awful.
like foot pedals, like to
Yes.
check mags and like.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, what got you to Tarkov? Was it just Danny saying, or Paul
It's
saying?
Paulie.
Okay.
Paulie, yeah. Paulie would hop into the chat from time to time and just say, "Why don't you play a real man's game?" or something along those lines.
Well,
You know?
we were trying to get. Maddie was the weak link, I think. I think Maddie had a taste for it. Like he saw me streaming it, he wanted a little bit. Daniel wouldn't let him, right? Because you guys were playing COD, and then what happened? Like COD changed the map or something, and there was
Nah,
rebirth, and then
yeah.
kind of all of a sudden it
Yeah,
just wasn't the same anymore, right?
No, I for me, there's a lot of things that changed. You know, Call of Duty was a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time on it. A lot of time on it. But as the game continued to progress, it seemed that Activision wasn't listening to its community in terms of what they wanted. Obviously, an anti-cheat being one, but you get cheaters in any game. You see it at Tarkov too.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of what Warzone was, but it could be subtle little things of, basic changes to the game that they just wouldn't do. Maybe nerfing things like dead silence, or and there was these things kept piling up, and you watch these big time streamers. I'm feeling it. I have no say. These big time streamers are saying the exact same things that I'm feeling. They actually have a say. They're posting things. There's a million tweets,
Yeah.
about certain issues, and it's just like then all of a sudden they do something completely different, and it's just like, all right, this company's just clearly just a money revolving machine. To me, that's what it felt like. I'm not saying it's accurate, but that's what it sent. And then I just like I can't do this anymore. I was just getting too frustrated with it. I wasn't having fun anymore playing it. And I needed a change,
Yeah.
and I literally downloaded a hunting game. Yeah. I'm not joking. And that game was trash, but like, I needed some type of change. And I was talking with Danny and Maddie and, trying to figure out what was going to be the next one. And here we are at Tarkov.
Yep. And you're,
And
like you said, there's a lot of the big streamers, we're getting tired of that. Like you saw Dr. Disrespect, start playing it a little bit more and more and putting time into it. And, it's, and a lot of the other guys too. So Paul can be, yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of the big time streamers were moving away from COD. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, there's something going on here, and no one's noticing it. And like, there's guys that just hung it up, and like, I'm done. I'm not playing competitively anymore. They would drop in maps and get killed by a hacker in the middle of $100,000 tournament. Like, this is how these guys make their living.
Yeah.
Like this is, I don't know. It just got a little bit toxic. Will I ever go back? I don't know. We'll see. I have no plans to. I have no desire to. I deleted it from the
once
console.
Tarkov's got you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
a little
got me,
tough.
that's for sure.
It is.
It ruins games for you.
Absolutely.
It ruins games for you.
Yeah, definitely. So now you jump into Tarkov. Paul's going to be, Paul and Greg are going to be your Sherpas. What is that? You fire it up. What is your first experience of seeing this game? It's like, what the hell do you do?
Well, the game is difficult in itself because it's a completely different game from COD. COD, you got your run and gun,
Yep.
you push a team of 4 as a solo, your team can buy you back. That's not the way it is here. Obviously. This is more of like, shit, I got to move a little bit to the left because I don't want to walk over that twig type of game. Like, that's the thought process, because like that twig could break or that make that wood sound, or walking on wood thing, and it's like someone's going to hear me. That completely different game. So that transition was very tough for me because it was just like I was a run and gun trying to get 20-25 kills, where here it's just like, if I get out with 1 scav kill and I get a task done, I'm like gassed up.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking to get, like, if I get 10 kills, awesome. But like, that's not what I'm going for. Whereas that's what I was in Warzone. That's kind of my gameplay, where I don't really care about winning the game. I cared about getting as many kills as humanly possible.
Yeah.
That's a tough transition, though, right? Because you want to run and gun in this game, like playing that way.
Yeah.
And I think the more time you spend fighting that or trying to get back to it, the more unenjoyable the game gets, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll use my cousin, right? It kind of like he gets into it, then then Dano shoots him, but then like, and then it's tough. But it's tough if you can't change your mentality of how you're going to play the game. And I think most people get into it and they're like, forget it, I'll just quit right away. Actually, I think you sticking around helped Maddie and Dan stick around more, and then they got into it. But it was like that first bite was tough.
Oh,
That first 0 to 10, you
Yeah.
know, that was like I mean I was like, is this the one? Is this the game? Like, this is tough. And at the same time, in conjunction, I'm learning mouse and key, which was not
Yes.
easy. You know, it's still not easy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still like, oh shit, and I'm looking down at the keys, like, you know, like still, like I'm tenfold better than from what I was, but like it's still it's very challenging, because like if you just play on a controller, it's like second nature. Your brain's
Yeah.
already mapped to how to use the controller. Now it's learning a completely new territory.
Well, I
It's
remember, showing, bringing Paul into the first raid, and he's like, dealing with the bullets. Like, you got to load each bullet individually into the magazine.
It was the back. Well, first of all, the first raid you bring me into is a nighttime woods with a shotgun, pitch black. Right before we understood, like just straight black. I wasn't sure I was still in the game, and then you die immediately, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna help you get out.
Actually, that was Interchange. We were in the basement of Interchange. Then we did a woods run where you shot me.
Then we did a woods. No,
Yeah.
no, that was no. So no, because I remember that. It's funny. I was thinking about this. We did the woods. I was on your other account,
Yeah.
Shub, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I hadn't bought it yet.
Yep.
And you bring me in, you die, and then I've got a shotgun, and I can't figure out why it won't reload with the mag in my backpack. And it was
You're getting
so
frustrated,
infuriating.
yes.
Like, I was like, the buttons don't work. The buttons actually don't work in the game right now. It's broken. Couldn't reload. I kill a scav, and then you're like, okay, you're gonna find the wall, and you're gonna find the wall out. What wall? It's pitch black. It's pitch black. So then I was okay. So we did like one raid. I think we went back to PUBG or something like that. And
Yeah.
then the next day, I remember during the day, you said, okay, let's go back. We go to woods. We have pistols.
Yes.
Daytime.
Yep.
We're running around. Then we get into a fight. I realized that I was actually shooting at you. I kill you. Some other PMC is like, what are these two idiots doing? They're shooting at each other, and then he shoots me, and it was like, and then I remember after that I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
So
And that's
another. Go ahead, Nuts. Go ahead.
So
Mark.
yeah, two things there. First of all, the fact that we had that second account, I think that was huge because you guys were able to, get a taste of it without.
You were looking for people to play with.
I was,
you
yeah.
Were, you were like, you were luring us in.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't playing with anybody. There was, my first raid I did, I hopped into, it was a woods run, and I got an invite to join a group. This is great. I'll join this group. I go in, and they shoot me. Like, what the fuck, this game? So that's like, all right, don't trust anybody. That's the
before
first
VoIP.
level.
Way back before VoIP.
Yeah, first
Holy
lesson.
shit, I
Don't.
didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Way.
Some random
yeah.
people. It's like, oh, this is great. I'm going to, and I get shot. So that's the first lesson to Tarkov. Trust no one. And then it's like, okay. And I actually think that was my second raid. My first raid, I went in with my M4 and I died. It's like, where's my gun gone? Oh, shit. All right. And then grasping that, it's like, okay, then it was like, okay, I'm hooked on this game. I got to get you guys out of PUBG because once you get a taste of it, it's, it's going to be game over.
We were still running we were starting to pick up randoms in PUBG now because we were trying to fill your spot.
Yeah.
and then and every night we'd be like, "Yo, you gonna play PUBG with us?"
Yep.
Nah, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna keep playing this.
Yeah. And the other point I wanted to bring up is the fact that you still remember that you and I in the woods interchange speaks volume to that game. We're talking 3 years ago, I think, when we first did that. You can't remember some of the COD, from 10 years ago playing COD, or even, a few years ago when we played PUBG. You don't remember those experiences like you do with Tarkov.
Granted, the first chicken dinner.
Yes,
was pretty memorable.
Yes, absolutely, that was good with Liu Kang or whatever that was.
Oh yeah, the random guy who Sherpa'd us in PUBG.
Yeah,
It does have a unique way of hooking you pretty quickly.
yes.
I will say, it's funny though. The one thing PUBG did do well, and I think a lot of people came from PUBG to Tarkov, was the idea of you're dead and you're done. Right?
Yep.
Like it was the battle royale type situation, but it was like it made victory so hard that it became so much fun. So I will argue that at least PUBG did that, and then this just took it to the whole next level because it was like, I mean, right? You die. A 50% survival rating is fantastic in this game, and it's miserable. If Call of Duty 50%, it's terrible, right? So
Yeah. I would say Paulie was talking about the maps and such. That was a very big challenge, like because there's the small map on the screen in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There's pull up the massive map.
You have
You know where you are
indicators.
at all times. The indicators right there. There's none of that.
Nope.
There's none of that here. Whereas like I drop in the first time. If I don't have one of you, I was like, where in God's name am I?
Yeah.
That was the most challenging part. And like there's some still little bits and pieces of maps that I don't play as often where I'm still like, shit, where am I?
You picked it up actually way faster than I expected, because Barry, I remember you used to take us on those interchange loot runs.
Oh yeah.
No idea. Like, I mean, it took months for me to figure out just the basement of interchange.
Yeah.
Let alone going upstairs. And I actually give you credit. You figured it out way faster than I feel like I did.
Yeah, I will say I appreciate that, but I will say like the basement of interchange, I'm still I'm no chance.
Well, at least it connects now. Back when we were there was sections that you'd go in and realize, oh, this actually doesn't go anywhere, and now I need to find my way back out.
Well, also what helps too is he's got a support group around him. He's got you, he's got Verdi, he's got me. That that is so huge to have that. A person just playing this game on their own, you're at such a disadvantage. It's so hard to figure it out. Like like when you guys, I'd take you and Verdi, like when we very first started, and take 30 minutes. Let's walk through the entire menu system here. Here's in your stash. We're not running into a game right away because there's so many nuances with this game. What meds do you need to have with you? How does the med system work? Bringing in the right ammo. Here's what you make sure you bring into this backpack. Don't bring in that gun because you don't have enough ammo for it. Things like that.
The meds. I still laugh at you, and that's like a trigger point for me with when you first started with the meds. Like, you guys would all have the meds in the gamma, and like they would all be the wrong ones, or you wouldn't be using them as you're bleeding, and it would be like a trigger. I'd be like, I can't watch this. I can't watch him fumble around trying to use the grizz.
It's so true though.
Why isn't it healing?
There's so many nuances to the game. I was getting my haircut yesterday, and trying to explain the game to my barber, and I'm like, this is about as close to real life as a game can actually get in terms of a first shooter. So I'm talking him through how, like, okay, in comparison to Call of Duty, yeah, you can throw some perks onto a gun, yeah, maybe a foregrip or whatever, but like this is actually building a gun, a real life gun with specific parts, multiple ammos, multiple clips. And that's just the gun part. We got into the meds. We got into the market. We got like there's just so many nuances to the game, and you can see like he's sitting down and he's listening to me talking, and his head's spinning. Like, why would I ever want to play this? Like, it sounds like you're gonna do math in the middle of a raid.
Yeah, like you just remind me of another thing. You've got your quests, your traders to explain, rep. All of that you're taking somebody who knows nothing of that, but to explain to your barber how I explain it to people, I say, hey, go watch this trailer of 1212 or 10, and then you watch that. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool, and give them a taste of it that way. But trying to explain to somebody, I've got this PMC, and also I have this scav. Well, I only use a scav. It's a no risk. Go in and random loadout and. Yeah, people's eyes just glaze over.
I actually give you guys credit for still trying to explain it to people. I had to explain PUBG to people, and then I started explaining, and then they'd be looking at me weird, like, you know what? I just tell them I play games. Like, and that's it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then when you compare that to Call of Duty, it's just like, okay, I've got my 4 builds, and I run in and die. It's
You can't even compare the two.
No, you really can't.
It's completely different games. And
now, what would have made it easier for you to adjust or learn the game more?
I don't. I mean, I don't think. In addition to like having you guys,
Yeah.
Um,
But that's
I don't know.
really the big thing is play with.
It's honestly play with people that have been playing,
Yeah.
and understand the game. Because and you guys were both, and Greg, were like very, very patient in terms of like, to Paulie's point a little bit earlier, we got 6 splints in our gamma, but we don't, we don't have a heavy bleed, it's just,
What is
you
heavy
know, it's
bleed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, how do I know I have a heavy bleed
this-
versus the?
yeah, how do you know? Yeah, you learn. So like, you were very patient in terms of that because like it's a massive, massive learning curve. I guess. I mean, some type of tutorial,
Yeah.
maybe. But for the people that don't, have friends that play or just brand spanking new trying to get in, but like with any game, like there's always going to be a learning curve.
Yeah.
You can watch YouTube videos.
The wiki
there's
is huge.
Wiki is massive. Yeah, I have
Well,
every
the
map.
community here is
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
down. Although
Yeah.
I will, on that point of tutorial, the more I play the game, the more I'm glad it actually doesn't have one. Actually, to the point about maps, right? Like, right, Barry, we've been playing for
Mhm.
3 years and we were still nervous about going into Lighthouse. Actually, I think, Kev, you were like, let's go to Lighthouse, guys. We're like, guys, look, it's new. I don't know if we're ready for Lighthouse. We're like, we've been playing a game. It's a game, and you've been playing it for 3 years. Well,
I have.
I
I've
couldn't-
I've done 2 quests. I don't even go to Lighthouse. I don't know if I'm ready for it. It's just like nope.
now we have a
Lighthouse is
taste
my
for it,
second
though.
favorite
Now,
map.
now,
I love
now,
Lighthouse.
Now we put a clinic. We put a
Oh,
clinic
yeah.
together, killing those rogues. Now,
Sorry, Rogies.
Now, what was the toughest thing coming into Tarkov for you?
Mouse and key.
Mouse and okay. Aside from mouse and key, because if we're talking to other COD players here who may be PC players, what for you, what was the toughest thing to get used to there? Was it just the run die mentality? Your play style was so much different.
But definitely my play style in these 2 games are completely different. I am 10 million times more cautious in Tarkov, where it's just like in Call of Duty, it's just run and gun.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That learning curve was that was definitely a challenge for me because I have it's just a game mentality.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to rack up and put on a show and be really, really good when my talent's really not there to go in, drop a 30 bomb in Call of Duty and Warzone or drop 10 PMCs in here and run into dorms and kill a team of 4. That's just not happening. Like I realized that pretty quickly. Like
Yeah,
this
because
is
when
just-
you were rolling like HKs into him, I was like, Kev, you don't want to roll continually HKs into these
well,
maps.
no,
that you-
we had to teach him about ammo. He
Oh,
had the
yeah.
$400,000 HK with the 855.
Yes,
He's like,
That's-
I don't
that's
understand.
the
The
other-
bullets are
that's the
bouncing
other
off,
thing.
guys.
Well then, well that would probably be the toughest thing. Is for me.
Yep.
Personally, who's not a gun guy, is understanding how to build a gun.
Yeah.
What is the best ammo?
Recoil. and,
There's PS ammo, but it could go with 2 different guns. I didn't know that. So I'm bringing in a PS ammo in my one clip that works perfectly. I empty the clip and I have the wrong other PS
there's-
ammo to go.
There's the ubiquitous, right? You brought the AKM with the 36. What is it?
7.62.
The
366 TKO
like the Vepr
rounds.
ammo, whatever
Yes.
it is, the 366 ammo.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why is my gun red? Why is it not gonna fire? Like, you
Exactly.
throw the mag out. It's not gonna work. Get a different one.
That's definitely the most challenging. It still is. It
Yeah.
still is challenging. I mean, how many times are we in Discord late at night? All right, hey, these bullets any good? Like,
Well,
should
when
I
you
sell
die,
these?
when you have a frustrating death, and then we're all back in the menu, and you're like, okay, what am I selling? What am I selling? What is this
I
good
gotta get
ammo?
my money
Paulie,
out.
is this good ammo? Is this good ammo? Oh, yeah.
Well, and
you go on a
that's
tear. When you die, you go on a tear selling stuff.
well, that's the other thing
Wow.
too. You come out now. What do I sell? Like you're as somebody
Gotta
new
get
to
my good
Tarkov,
guns.
how do you what do you figure out? How do you know what to sell? And again, it comes to leaning on either the community or people you're playing with. It's
It comes like now I'm getting better at like now I'm not asking as much. Like now I know this is what I'm gonna sell. But that's the other thing. It's just like now it's like understanding what things you want to craft
yeah,
and what you need for those certain crafts and what you need later. And guys like you, who's this is my first run through, my first, you know, I haven't been through a wipe,
yeah,
where you understand what's coming.
hmm
Like, hey, you might want to hang on to this vase or whatever it may be, because you're gonna need that in about 3.5 weeks.
yeah,
Where it's just like we're on like 50 grand, like let's go there, you know.
yeah.
But there's a good scope.
Yeah. Now, Paul, as you're kind of putting what you're doing on hold as you're taking these three guys in. What's the toughest part about that? The comms, just explaining everything. Like there's so many
meds.
thing. Yeah.
Seeing the meds and the gamma. The no, actually, you know what? I have to admit this has been. I mean, I think the wipe in general has been great because this has been a great update. The but I'm actually happy to have people back into it. I think last wipe, right? We played a lot of solo. Jumped in with some guys every once in a
Yeah.
while, but like last wipe wasn't great. It kind of bugged me the whole Kappa being at level 70, and I know they changed it, but like that's unattainable for guys like us who
Yeah.
work full time jobs. But the so I've actually had more fun, even though my task progression has slowed because it's like, okay, I'll go to customs again. I have nothing to do on customs, but these guys have a million tasks on customs, so let's go to customs.
Yeah.
Like it's been fun in that regard. Although now I'm at that like 36 and like ready to just get everybody king
Yeah.
thing, so I need to grind out some of these tasks. But no, I think it's been fun having him in there. It's fun having my brother back, obviously,
Yeah.
back in this game. And then just having it was great that like all you guys, all the controller boys, just jumped straight in to this at the same time. Right, I think even Kurt is going to join, which that should be like that. I mean, if we want content, that's going to be
Yeah,
content.
that's gonna be content.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that kid played 2 years of Call of Duty, and he progressively got worse. If that's even possible, where having to see him at this game, woo, I look forward to it.
so yeah. So this has been fun. I mean, this has been a blast having everybody. I mean, every night we get on and like people are on. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like back when we all rebuilt PCs, got into PUBG, and
Yeah.
we were on every night except for the stupid whatever Tuesday night when they did their updates.
Yeah. Well,
But,
we
like,
did. Yeah. Peace. Yeah, that's right. Because we were doing
Well, we were
console,
doing
GTA, Division. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Division was a blast.
Yeah.
The,
That's true.
We had some time in between.
Yep.
I was like, I was getting married and stuff like that. Like Verdi was getting married, Dan
Yeah.
was getting married. But I mean, right? How many years ago did I live in LA? 10.
Yeah.
What is it? 2022. 10, 11.
Yeah. That
12
was
years
those
ago.
console
We were
COD
playing
days. Yeah.
Black Ops.
Yeah.
We had like what 15 guys. We'd all be on the boat shooting each other
Yeah.
in gun game.
For gun game, the last 45
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah. Oh, totally.
So it's nice. I think it's nice when you can get a whole bunch of people on, and I'll take that. Especially now that I've played. I'll take being on with people and getting shot in the face, getting shot through the ear hole from Kev on customs, like then doing solo grind. Last wipe was a lot of solo grind, so I'm
See,
happy
like,
to be back with everybody.
but that's what's cool about the game too, is because there's obviously like we have a good core group that we play a lot with and enjoy playing with. But like, if you want to get in and do a scav as a solo, awesome. I've been loving jumping into reserve with a sniper rifle, with nothing in mind, just to try and pick off people that come into my scope, and then trying to extract
Yeah.
and try and get loot with no task in mind. It's just going in as a solo, find a place to hunker down, and try and snipe.
Yeah.
That for 40 minutes, and like that's
Yeah.
fun to me.
Yeah.
That, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's the thing about this game. There's so many different ways you can play it. During the course of a day or a course of weeks. Like, I want to go into the bushes and, go sniping, and that's a chill 40 minutes. Or let's roll factory and go for that, heart pumping PvP action.
Role play.
Yeah, but so Kev, what are some of the pucker moments you've experienced? Or actually, no, back that up. What about Tarkov that has hooked you? What is it about us that's just like shit? I can't play. I'm not going back to COD anymore because this game is Is it the gear fear? Is it just your heart pumping? The immersion factor of the game?
Yeah, I think it's the middle one there that you just said. It's the realism of this game. It's not even the realism, but it's the thought of I'm going in here and I have $500,000 in loot on me and I might not be coming back with it. And that just gives me so much anxiety every single time. No matter if I'm solo or playing with a team of less anxiety with a team of 4 because I can hide your loot. But if I'm dropping in as a solo and it right out of the gates, it's just like I'm not gonna move until I have my bearings. And like I immediately go prone just to try and figure out where I am.
Yeah.
And then kind of progress from there. And that wasn't Call of Duty. That was I'm parachuting in and I'm picking up the first gun I see and I'm blasting.
Right.
Like that's not how this is. And that I think is what hooks me because it's just like it does. Like Paulie and I were talking about it. I think he was in the middle of a raid. He wasn't live and I wasn't watching, but he's like shh. He's literally in woods laying down while 2 other guys clump by him. And it's like that is like your heart's racing because if one single movement, they turn around and you're done.
Yep.
Back to the lobby you go with nothing. And that is awesome. Where it's just like you don't lose anything in Call of Duty.
Right.
In fact, you can get bought back by your teammates. Or you can go to the gulag and try and get back into the game. Like that's what it's called.
When did you realize that I'm not going back to Call of Duty? Was there a moment it's like, this has ruined it for me. I am not going back to Call of Duty.
I found that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I had a sense of even before playing Tarkov that
Yeah.
I'm not going back to Call of Duty just because of my frustration levels with it.
Yeah.
But this game solidified it 100%. It's just a different game, and Barry, we talked about it all the time. Like it would be constantly, I would learn something new every single time I'd be on. I'm like, that is something new. I'm still learning different things, and like, I like that it's still in beta. I like that they're still tweaking things. I like that they're trying to perfect it. Like you don't see that often. In games, you don't. With us, obviously, there's some out there with a select few, but like, it doesn't seem like this is a money-hungry grab.
No.
This is like we are trying to put out a good product for all of our users to play a fascinating game, and I can relate with that.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the advantages of it not being a AAA studio. Nikita and his team, there's a passion for this game. They absolutely love the game. They're going to make it their way. And when it comes out of beta, it is it's fantastic right now as a beta. But when they get that finished product of Streets in the map of Streets of Tarkov in here and open world, it just keeps getting better.
See, like the open world concept, was it you and I talking about it? It might have been. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like imagine this, like small map, but just all the maps intertwined.
Yeah.
And like dropping into a raid that way, and how they do that, but maybe there's more multiple teams. Like that is just. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That would be something else. That would be special.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that, but or you get like 3 frames per second. But,
Right, yeah. Look at the optimization of Lighthouse. But, something that's helped us, last wipe, or was it, I think it was wipe or 2 wipes ago, Paul's, we started using Discord and streaming each other's screen. I think that was Bro. told us about him and his crew were doing that, and then we started doing it. I was like, oh, that was a game changer.
Not for Danny.
No.
Although, no, yeah, and I was gonna say, and Verdi yells at me all the time still.
Yeah.
Like, where are you? And he's like, just screaming at me that I'm not looking at his stream. How do I not know where he is?
Yeah, but that having anybody starting new, like if you got a couple people starting, I would highly recommend you're using Discord to chat, share your screens in game, and it does twofold. One, an indication of where he is versus where you are, and also if you die, you've got some entertainment value. You're watching him while you're going in to do your scav or you're managing your stash. It just it adds so much more to when you're playing with a bunch of people, having that seeing their screen while they're playing.
100%.
Yeah.
I love the die off the rip and then go do 2 scavs while someone's in a raid for the next 40 minutes.
The bunker butcher.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's coming out with more loot out
I
of
am
reserve.
King Scav Reserve.
I'm pulling Slickers bars and matches and trinkets. And this guy's
I
got PMCs throwing
dropping
them pilgrims.
backpacks.
Yeah,
So
ridiculous.
now, Paul, when you're rolling 5 with these, you and Verdi, or you and 3, Maddie and Kevin and Danny, what are comms like? Because you've got the COD comms, which who cares? They're just yelling and screaming at each other. But comms in Tarkov is different.
Yeah, well, it's usually Daniel asking where I am. I lost you guys. Where am I? And then it's Verdi usually yelling at me because I'm trying to find out where he went, because he usually just takes off, goes somewhere. Maddie's pretty good. Maddie's usually hanging about. He's usually the guy, like, we all get melted, and then he's in the bush as the guy runs
Maddie
around
extracts.
and is like humping our body and like the
5's too much, in my opinion.
It
is.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. It's too much, but it's still a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's like it's become, at least for me, it's become like, I know I'm gonna die, and that's okay, because hopefully the comms are really fun, and we like have a blast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's gamifying it, because like there's an element of Tarkov that like it takes the like just the like have fun, do whatever you want out of it a bit. Like, it's still obviously fun, but like, so I like that. I mean, yeah, and yes.
Drop it as a 5
So-
in like
5 with people who like, okay, and you guys know what you're doing now, right? So like 5 with us and like people who know what they're doing, fine. Throw my cousin in there, throw someone who's kind of brand new into the 5, and then
Sure.
it ends up with Daniel blowing his head off, right? Like it's like, that's kind of just it. So I think 5 with people who know what they're doing is okay. It's still hectic, but at least it can be fun, and if you know you're not taking it too seriously, I think it's fun.
Yeah, so like that, to your point there, 5, like drop it in and like funny comms,
Yeah.
likely gonna die, sure, like all about
Yeah.
it. Or stuff in factory, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doing that. But I think the sweet spot, because if you drop it in as 5 and 3 of them need to get scav kills, like,
Yes.
well, who's killing
No.
that solo
Right.
scav?
You can't. Yeah, you cannot. I would actually argue with 4 or 5, the only quest you can actually think about doing are pickups or drop-offs or whatever,
Right.
planting stuff. Like kills, it's like Barry, remember we used to do this
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time, be like, hang on, I need the kills, and then like 4 people would go run and hide while the one person would try and get the kill, and then like the 4 people would get melted by someone else waiting around, and so like we had to start. I mean, like I think it created, like, we were just getting frustrated with each other, so we just had to like move. We had like a whole like rules of
Oh my
engagement,
God, yes, that's right.
Remember, I mean, we had rules, picking loot, like
oh God, yes.
just killing, doing scav kill. Like, I mean, we like became friends, broke friendships, became friends again, like, because of some of this stuff.
This fucking game, man, it ruins
And,
friendship. There's
yeah.
so many different things this game does. First of all, there's that it can destroy friendships. There's also Tarkov Greed. There is you kill somebody, and you're like,
sucker.
it's like Golem, like from that one video. It was like, what does it have?
Labs. I mean, remember fucking lab. Like, we would, the Blue Barrel days.
Yeah.
Running in there with the tin can and the baby AK and just praying you get a raider, and then it was. I mean, you're right. It was like we would just turn into. We'd be like, okay, wait. I'm gonna go get the body real quick because I'm near the front. And you'd be sitting and be like, what'd you get? What'd you get? Is that mine? Can I have that? Is that mine? Is that no? That's mine. I got my kill. I think I got that killed. I think that's me. As we're all literally spraying at the one raider, like nobody knows who got the kill.
Yeah. Or
And
even
it
with,
was. It turned.
oh
It
god,
turned it. I mean, you guys used to grill me because I'd be like, no, there's nothing on here, and I'm like walking back.
yeah, all the scopes and suppressors are gone. I was like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You go in there, all it is the AK, the base AK.
Yeah. No, but the other piece of it too was like, if you're rolling solo and you kill somebody, or you see that body, you're on the way from your exfil, you stop, and that's where Tarkov Greed takes over, and it's like, your brain is saying get out, but
Oh yeah, no. My
that
brain doesn't
thing,
comprehend that.
Nikita on your shoulder is saying, it might be a graphics card in there. You don't know.
You know how many times
He
I have
looked thick.
shown up. I've like so many times in like scav runs where it's just like, there's a body there and he's got stuff on him, but my time is at a minute and a half, and I go for the body and I just show up to the extraction late. I've done it twice. I've done it live.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'm trying to get that last backpack. Like, okay, great, $8,000.
Yeah.
Awesome, Kev. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make it,
Nope.
and I don't.
Oh man.
I will add one thing that I think is fascinating about this game, is the VoIP.
Yes.
I know, like, I don't know, is this a new on this wipe or
12 had VoIP. This is the first time we're all experiencing VoIP.
So that is a fascinating addition. And it can come into play in so many different ways. Like just prior to hopping on here, doing the scav run, I think Paulie was watching, but like I'm in a scav run in reserve. I VoIP one PMC, friend him, that he trusts me. He gives me some stuff, like we're good. He VoIPs 2 more PMCs. He's like, hey, we want to do a scav extract. He's like, well, I'm a PMC, but I got one with me if you want. And now we got 2 teams, 3 PMCs, and me extracting. The other team comes in, they throw me down a duffel bag of loot. And like, take it. He's like, drop whatever's on your backpack. It's not as good as this. And sure enough, he's right. It was like guns, everything in it. Sure enough, I pick it up. I come out with like $500,000 in loot just from the VoIP.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I was probably going to blast the first PMC.
And he made you keep the knife out too. Every time you were like, "Should I pull my gun out?" and he's like,
he
"No."
was kind of being a douche about it too. I'm like, I don't like this, So I'm like, he's like, hit the knife against the wall. I'm like, all right, brother. But I did. But then he's Sherping me around like to all the bodies he kills. I had some good armor here. This guy's got a gun. Here's a vector. And I'm like, all right, I'll let you live. But he kept looking back at me like,
Because you don't trust anybody, man.
You can't.
No, I did a raid.
There we go.
I had a
Remember
raid.
Lighthouse? We trusted those 2 guys. Wow, you guys look like you have a lot of gear. And we're like, yeah, just keep walking. Don't worry. And then they start shooting at it. We're like, we should have killed him.
No, I made my mistake. It was me and Mojo from the other guys I play with, and we ran into Shoreline up into the resort, and I had my flare on my M4, and the guy was it was just him. He said, "Yeah, this room's open. Go in there." We both go in there together. Next, a grenade comes in. It's like, motherfucker. He kills us both. I get out. I send him a message like, dude, really, you're cool. And he texts back, I saw the flare on the gun. I had to have it. It's like, So, and the tactical mistakes. Why were we together? Mode we should have said, okay, you go first, and then just keep him in the middle. But no, it's like, oh, all right, yeah, VoIP works. VoIP's friendly. No, it's not. It's deceiving sometimes.
It can be very deceiving.
Yeah.
Don't ever you can't trust anybody.
Nope.
No, and I've done some bad things to some PMCs. I will though, although I do I don't mind being a PMC and tricking a player scav. I'll be honest with you, that to me that's fair game.
Yeah.
Right? Like we actually a player scav killed Verdi, and then me and Maddie went over to go, and I think I don't remember if you were in, Kev, or if it was Danny.
I remember
Danny
this,
Boy
but
was
yeah.
it, but yeah. So and then another player scav comes, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, okay, wait, that's not the guy. He's like, oh, here. He pulls his knife out, throws down his thing. I'm like, all right. I was like, Maddie, watch him. And then the other guy who was now picking Verdi's body was like, oh, hey, I'm a player scav too. And I'm like, oh, all right, good, man, cool. Oh, yeah, we're coming over. We'll just put some PMCs. Blast him. Like, blow his head straight off. I'm like, look. You just killed my buddy. I can't let you live.
And no,
right?
no.
No. And then I told Maddie to try.
Wait
I
your
was like,
20
kill the
minutes,
other
get
guy.
into another
I was like,
scav.
kill, execute.
Actually, I was in that raid.
Oh
Danny
yeah,
and
you
I
and
were in
Danny
that
Boy
raid.
were
Yeah.
like fumbling around over an alley
Yeah.
playing grab ass, and then we were like,
we were. Yeah. It was good.
Oh.
Uh,
So now, you streamed to COD, you streamed Tarkov. What's any difference between streaming both, how you communicate to the, when you were playing COD versus how you're communicating with people while you're playing Tarkov?
not so much the No, I tend to try and interact with the chat as much as humanly possible. I will say there's a lot more downtime in Tarkov.
Yeah.
Not people don't want you to watch shuffle your loot around.
Yeah.
So getting better at that and selling things quicker,
And getting back
that-
in a raid.
and getting back into a raid exactly as fast as humanly possible, and the wait times in between.
Yeah.
Getting into a game.
That's what when we had Pastilli on our hideout pod.
It's better.
It's a game really geared for the streamer, and there's one, you have those points of interaction with your chat. You have one, as you're getting ready to go in, while you're in that lobby to go in. Even in the game, you have moments where you can interact with your chat. After you die, get out, there's another point where you can interact with your chat. But also, it's he described it like a movie. You have the build up getting into your raid. Then in your raid, you have those up and down tense moments that will bring entertain your chat, and then that finale is like you get victory, or you lose, and then chat goes nuts and whatnot. And it's just it was a very valid point about being able to stream Tarkov.
No, 100%, and it gives you more opportunities to, for these big time streamers that get in thousands and thousands of messages per stream.
Right.
It gives them more opportunity to read and interact with more people, which will result in some personal connection with that person, which will keep them coming back. Whereas in Call of Duty, you're multitasking.
Right.
It's all right. There's a play again button as soon as you die in Call of Duty, and it immediately gets you into another game. There's none of that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the difference there.
Yeah.
I appreciate the streamers too, who play solo. I actually used to think I would rather them play duos and watch them wipe and just destroy maps. And actually, I find that I prefer the streamers who kind of exclusively or try to do mainly solo, because you get to see them play and actually how good some of them are in some cases. And I don't even necessarily mean like landmark style good, but like just they have good conversation, they know what they're doing, and they can actually like talk to chat versus just them all talking to each other.
Yeah. It's like you said, like the storyteller streamers.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things, when we were chatting with Deadly, he was talking about when he's on, it's him and his chat. But when he's playing with, if he's doing a duo with Geeks or Jesse, it's like, hey guys, chat. Today's almost like a podcast. It's just me and Jesse. We're going to be, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll have our normal story time. But that's, that is a good thing about this game.
Yeah. No, it's, I'm glad I made the transition.
Oh,
I
good.
really am.
And now, as we wrapping up here, anybody who may be, watching this or watching it later who are playing COD, what would you say to them? Why should they give Tarkov a try?
It's completely different. And honestly, I think it can make you better at Call of Duty. Whereas the tactical approach in Tarkov of, all right, I shot, now I need to move because
Yeah.
they know where that bullet came from. Yes, there's some of that in Call of Duty, but not to this extent.
Right.
And almost it's just like how to move and position yourself to get that kill. I think can make you even better in Call of Duty, but it's two completely different games. There's
Yep.
so many. It's I would just, I mean, give it a try.
Yeah.
It's the difference. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It hooks you immediately. Um, and it's not even like KHiggs with 100 something whatever that is. Doctor Disrespect's tweeting about it.
Yep.
It's he. I don't know the tweet verbatim,
Yeah.
but like pretty much just said like Tarkov's the best game out there.
I'm
Like,
surprised he's actually he struggles with it, and I actually thought he was going to quit it, and
Yeah.
he keeps I think it did it, like it kind of got him a little bit.
hooks you. Well, maybe that's his way of like he needs a change.
Yeah.
Well, no, he said it. I remember this was like a couple wipes ago, I think, or whatever ago. He said, like, chat was trying to backseat the shit out of him, and he was like, "Relax, I'm allowed to learn." They were like, Just play with Lupo, just play it with whomever, right, whatever it was." And he was like, "I'm allowed to learn a game, like I'm gonna learn the game, right?" And so
Yeah.
like I actually like I gave him credit for that, like that he wanted to like play and learn it. I think it was tough for a little while, and now he's like back into it again.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. I pulled up his stream. I think it was today, earlier on this one, and I just like fast forwarded to when he was in a raid. He's walking underneath the bunker, not the bunker, the underground and interchange, and he walks in. He's like, "Up, I see a guy," and then he slowly moves behind a car, takes one shot, misses. 2 seconds later, just blown to smithereens.
He got sent back to the lobby.
He gets sent back to the lobby, and all he just goes, "All right." That's all. Just those little subtle mannerisms.
Yeah.
It's just so fantastic. It's just because it's just like you, and as someone that plays Tarkov, I know what he's feeling right now.
Yeah.
And he's so incredibly miserable, but he's not. He's just like portraying just pure just misery.
Oh.
I love. I actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I love how Tarkov still punishes you for playing it wrong,
Mhm.
right? Like and like especially if like I've been playing it long enough where I'm like, I did exactly what I knew I shouldn't do, but wanted to do because it was like the Counter-Strike days kicked in where I'm like, let's just run straight in, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yep, can't do it that way.
Well, boys, thank you for doing this. This is hopefully people who watch this will the COD players may trickle over to Tarkov. It is a fantastic game, and yeah, both of you, I appreciate the time.
No, I appreciate you having us.
Absolutely, it was a
All right.
blast.